if you have come to this page, it is for sure that you are about to take a very nice decision, a very conscious decision towards your business and the way it is functioning now. So, what is there in that, and what exactly this webinar will help you? Let us understand in details with this presentation. Let me take you to the presentation. Yes. So this is a presentation which is about to begin. I am sure that you will be very happy to know that. Let me reduce this. Okay. So this is about 3 secrets to achieve quality management systems through do-it-yourself method. Okay, my name is Saurabh and I am your quality excellence coach. Now, why this as a product? What is the purpose of this being as a product? Because the next slides would tell you definitely that why this has been, why this has come into existence. Now, let us focus on what exactly this webinar is going to fetch you. Now, this webinar, I'll be going to, report 3 points. And the 3 points are: what exactly is the reality check of consultation and certification kingdom? You know, there are many things which a client, I mean, as a manufacturer, if you are going for any kind of certification or a consultancy, you are completely unaware of many things which you are not told, which you are supposed to know about what this scenario is all about. And the reason why you should know is conscious decision. You should be taking conscious decision on after knowing what exactly who and what of everything, right? So that will be the first point which will be covered. The second point will be actual eye opener for you. You were completely unaware of many situations, many points, many realities. That is the reason you were, because you were unknown, there was no eye opener. And then when I would be telling you, there will definitely be an eye opener or a wow moment for you. And the third point which we are going to open is the curtain raiser on the way ahead. So what is this third point all about? You know, let's stick to the webinar and you'll be able to understand what is the third point. But first of all, let's concentrate what is actually the first point. When I say reality check, if you are, you could be any one of the person, you are already certified for any standard of ISO related or any other related standard, which makes your process streamlined at your business, at your manufacturing place, at your service place, right? Owned by you. You could be anyone who is an owner of a business into a service department. You could be also a consultant, a budding consultant, or you could be anyone who is working in an organization who is taking care of quality related activities in that organization, right? So you could be any one of the three. So let me, you know, pop up my window on the above, the uh, uh, above this thing. Okay, so let's go into what is reality check. Now, ISO, which is International Organization for Standardization, has published around 40,000 standards as of today. Were you aware of that? Yeah. The second point is all standards are voluntary, but they can be way of life. Voluntary means they are not at all imposed by any one government, to set up a business or carry out a business. No, they are not imposed. The imposed standards are the accounting standards of that specific and respective country or, the state. But these ISO standard, which is related to product and service quality, are not at all imposed. They are all voluntary standards. So if you are being asked, or if you are forced to implement these standards, you will have to think over it. Okay, yes, your client may ask you to get certified because they need some quality of the product which they think will get achieved when you get certified for any of the standard. So that can be a little kind of imposition from your client. But apart from that, these standards are voluntary. The third point is all standards, the newer formula or the new gift from ISO to all the standards is all standards have the same structure. They have same 10 clauses. The heading of the clauses are also same. Only thing is when it goes to sector specific standard, there could be certain verbal or word changes. That's it. Other than that, the 10 clause remain almost 100% same, right? So the structure of every standard same. And when I say structure of every standard same, the easiness of implementing combined standards is very nice. So let's say you are going for only one standard. Why not go for all three standards? Where it is easy to implement, you don't have to scratch your head. So people are now getting more and more certified for dual and triple standard rather than waiting for only one standard to be getting certified. Then one more point is consultation is one of the point when any company wants to go for certification. Now I have seen over a period of time that there are many budding certification bodies who are behind their client prospect that they should get certified. And the only statement they make is, you pay us money, we will give you certificate. But is that an earned certification? I don't think so. And in the long run, that kind of certification is not going to help you in any way. So that was a very negative point which I wanted to make, but yes, it is the reality. And there are many organizations, many certification bodies who are, taking advantage of this lesser and lesser known or lesser and lesser knowledge with the client base. So that is the reason this webinar we are doing. One more point is certification body cannot ask a client to go for certification audit before their systems are not been implemented, or the systems not implemented plus the internal audit is not been done. See, there is a full cycle which needs to get completed before an organization is deemed ready for going for certification. If that is not the case, the certification body cannot ask you to get certified, right? Few more points. Certification body cannot have a consultant on its payroll. Now, I have seen that many of the clients are approached by certification body, and the certification body says that you give us a little more money and we will send our own consultant at your place who will do all kind of documentation work, and then some auditor from our side will come at your end and we will do the audit. Mind you, this is a crime which that certification body is doing, because they cannot have consultants on their payroll. Now, to counter this, many certification bodies have done or set up in such a way that the consultant organization is different and the certification organization is different. Maybe the owner is one, but the entities are two different. So they are sitting in the same premises, but the auditing business or the certification business is something different, and the consulting business is add-on to this. So whenever any client is coming, he is also introduced to this consultancy firm, and then consultancy firm is taking care of all the consultancy activities. that is also a crime. Okay, then one more point is, but certification body rarely denies certification to any client. Any certification body cannot say after their audit is over that, boss, you are not certified, right? You can ask any certification body. The biggest certification bodies that I can name at is Bureau Veritas, BVQI, then TUV. TUV has three different, companies: TUV Nord, TUV Rainland, and TUV Sud. So you can go to these companies. You can go to DNV. You can go to IRQS, Indian Register of Quality Systems. You can go to many such certification bodies and ask them how many certifications they have denied, and they will not have any single client's name on their list who is not granted certification. So it is for sure that when you have applied for any kind of certification, they are bound to certify you. How is their lookout? So there are some ethical ways and there are some unethical ways. The unethical ways are asking a consultant to go at your place, getting things done without even knowledge of the organization, and get you certified. This is unethical way. The ethical way is the certification bodies which I mentioned. What they can do is they can ask a trainer to come at your place and train you on how to do documentation, how to do implementation. That is one part. But it is ethical way. It is not an unethical way. So there are two different ways through which a certification body has to ensure that their client is getting certified. Okay. Then one more point is, every good certification body is accredited through one or more accreditation body. Now there is a difference between an accreditation and certification. Accreditation is a kind of certification which is secured by a certification body. So there is one entity which is accreditation body who is giving rights to more than one certification body to take care of the audits at client's place, right? And one certification body can have more than one accreditation bodies to get them accredited. Let's say, for example, JAS ANZ is an accreditation body. UKAS is an accreditation body. American Accreditation Society, AAS. I mean, there are many accreditation, but very less as compared to certification bodies. You can find certification bodies almost every lane of the world. They have one office. But accreditation bodies, there could be hardly some. If you are an Indian and you are watching this, India has its own accreditation body, which is NABCB, National Accreditation Board for NABCB certification bodies, National Accreditation Board for certification bodies, right? So if you want to do business in India, or if you want to export, and if you want India's name to be prominent in the eyes of the outside person, you should insist any certification body which is accredited by NABCB. Okay, I am not at all a member of any of the accreditation bodies, or I am not promoting their name, but these are some of the accreditation and certification bodies which are like top class. The first 5 or 6, top certification bodies, which I have already named it to you. And there are many accreditation bodies also which are doing good business, right? Ethical business. Rather than saying good business, I should say ethical business. So if you are certified and if your certificate is not having any accreditation to it, you may not be justifying what quality you are delivering to your customers, right? So If it is not there in place, you can go to your certification body and ask why my certification is not accredited, right? So we'll move further. Accreditation body is connected to ISO, or they have received rights from the ISO to take forward the certification business, right? So the hierarchy is ISO, International Organization for Standardization. Below that is accreditation body. Below that is certification body. And then every client is connected to this certification body. Every year certification body is audited for their accreditation by the accreditation body. And naturally, there will be some connection between ISO directly and the accreditation body, which I am completely unaware of. Okay. And then one more point, a very peculiar point is these certification body or the accreditation body have formed an accreditation forum to, it is kind of grievance itself. If at all you have any grievances or redressal, so rather than an accreditation body, a common body is formed, which is International Accreditation Forum, the last point which you are seeing on your screen on the right side, right? So every certification body is a member or should be a member of IAF. IAF is the oldest accreditation forum, and even if there are any issues which a client has, if you go to this IAF forum, you will have or you will get a very satisfactory answer, right? So that was a reality check regarding quality management system. So if you were not aware of many of the points, I can understand, why you were still not certified, or even if you are not certified, I mean, even if you are certified, the real, essence of that standard has not been delivered to you, right? So let's just move into the second slide. So this is actually an eye opener. I will again put my window to some different area. Let us see if I can drag it. Oh, I'm not able to. Anyways, no problem. So the eye opener is your organization certified for more than one standard? That is the question I'm throwing it to you. If not certified, no problem at all. You can get yourself certified. And how you should get certified is in the next slide, subsequent slides, right? At the same time, if you are certified for any of the standards, please answer these questions which are flashed in front of you. Do you face a surveillance audit every year once? Do you receive a non-compliance in every certification or surveillance audit? Let me see if at all I can drag this below. Yes, I'm able to. I'll keep it here. Yep. So the first question was, do you face surveillance audit every year once? If your answer is yes, you are into good hands. Second question is, do you receive non-compliance every audit? If you don't receive non-compliance report or non-conformity report in all the audits, then something fishy is going on, because it cannot happen that a standard is implemented in toto and the client organization is able to manage or able to implement the whole standard without any non-compliances. The non-compliances are bound to be there. If you are not being given, non-compliances report, then it is fishy. Excuse me. Are you seeing any positive changes after your certification over a period of time? That means any good change which you are seeing, any proactive changes, like are any employees proactively coming up to you with answers to issues which they are facing day to day? Then has the environmental hazards reduced over a period of time? Are the safe working conditions are increased due to reduction in the near misses or accidents at your place? And is there a reduction in customer complaints, which is the foremost point which should be achieved? And are your suppliers happy with you? So if any of the question answered as no, any one or more than one of the question are answered no, then it is time for you to think, what am I doing? Am I doing any justice to my own organization? And what is the purpose of implementing international organization standardization at your place? Is it for sake of having only one certificate which is hanged somewhere on the wall for over a period of 1 year or 3 years, and then you are not doing anything about it? Then probably you are not doing justice to your organization, right? And here is a curtain raiser. There is a way ahead. The way is long, and as seen in this picture, the way is not so easy. If you are not certified, or whether if you are certified but most of your answers were no to the questions in the previous slide, then I would consider yourself as you are not at all certified in a good way. So let us consider you also as non-certified. And if you want to travel this journey, the journey is not going to be easy, but like this bridge, if you take small steps on your own, life would be a different experience when you reach onto that point, right? So let us go and have what William Foster has said is, quality is never an accident. You must have definitely heard about this phrase. Quality is never an accident. It is always a result of high intention, sincere effort, intelligent direction, and skillful execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. So again, my question is, have you done a wise choice as a certification body, as a consultant, as an accreditation body, and are you following the systems day in and day out, right? So if you are a little bit confused, let me introduce myself. My short introduction: I am Saurabh. My name is Saurabh Vidvans. I'm a BSc graduate with an MBA in marketing, a wife of a wise husband, and a proud father. I'm into the field of quality management for 14 years. I have consulted around 250 clients. My client list is not big because I ensured that I pick my clients rather than my clients picking me. There is difference between a client picking you and you picking your client. So in my case, it was I picked the clients because I started with them, and if at all I found that they are not doing the way I have told them, I used to tell them that, sorry boss, I am not here for happy and be merry around. So here's your money and bye bye. I will not be coming at your place. I have done it for many times. So that is the reason over a period of 14 years or so, where people achieve 1,000 clients, I have achieved only 250 clients. And these 250 clients are live clients and they are still with me. They would not like to leave me. But now my connection or association with those clients is not to the extent which it used to be when I was doing implementation at their place, right? So being this a COVID-19 situation, we all are at home. and God knows what is going to happen. Okay, let me finish off with my introduction. I have I am a lead auditor for ISO 9001 2015, the newer standard, ISO 14001 2015, again the newer standard, and ISO 45001 2018, which is health and safety standard of ISO. Previous to this, it was OSHA's 18001, and OSHA's was a standard of British. British has many standards which are still there in the market. So this standard was a British standard, but certification body used to audit it. But when you used to get a certificate of OSHA's 18001, that was a non-accredited and certificate, because accreditation bodies were given rights by ISO. And as this standard is not an ISO standard, OSHA 18001 was not bearing the logo of accreditation from a certification body. But now, if you want to go for health and safety, if you are into a construction business, if you are into a heavy industry business, if you are into business where hot work, cold work, physical work is what your employees are doing, then you should be going for 45001, which is now OHSMS, Occupational Health and Safety Management System. And then lastly, I am also certified for 27001 2016, which is Information Security Management System. And let me tell you, all these new standards have the same structure, the same amount of clauses, that is 10 clause. Only the internal or the sub clauses, the terminology of each clause or the description of each sub clause is different. Because when it comes to environment management, the wording is different. When it comes to health and safety management, the wording is different. When it comes to information management, the wording is different. Okay, I stay in Mumbai suburbs, and my mission is to help at least 1 lakh business to implement ISO standards through do it yourself method, and to let them increase their, your own ROI, return on, return on investment, which you have made, and make India a proud nation. So I am asking for your humble help in this mission, and how you should be helping me is through if you scroll down below, now the page will open and you'll be able to see many products which I have developed. Now these product is, when I say this is product, this is a digital product, and uh, this is a product which revolves around only one standard, which is ISO 9001 2015. When I say this, that you will be asking for many other standards also, which very subsequently I will be developing it, and I will be putting it into my product area. But as a mother standard, I always say that ISO 9001 2015 is the mother standard of all the other standards. And if mother standard is implemented in toto, 60 to 65% of all the other standards are deemed or getting implemented unknowingly. So if this is the situation, what I feel is you should scroll down and go to the link and click on that link and do the payment and get secure yourself with this product. If because this product has some individual videos which could be minimum 5 minutes to maximum even 20-minute long videos, but it will give you a sort of concept clearance and perspective on how you should go about implementing it. And it is very easy. It is very easy. Initially, a consultant is not at all needed, because over a period of time the standard has been developed, and the newer standard ISO 9001 2015 is only a risk-based approach standard. So let's say, for example, if you are a fabricator, you just have to derive what all are your risk and what you are doing for that risk not to happen first time and ever in your life, right? So if this is a very so narrow that, I mean, every entrepreneur or every businessman knows about all the risk which are there in his own business, right? If you are into a fabrication business, you definitely know that getting a client at a specific figure with a steel, it is all on kg, right? So per kg it would be 40 rupees, 50 rupees, 60 rupees, 70 rupees, 80 rupees, whatever it is. It is very cutthroat competition between each and every fabricator for doing, quotation to the client. And I know many fabricators who have gained from my implementation and they are happy with what they are doing. And they praise me for that also. So what I would suggest is just scroll down and go through all the products, because I'm not going I mean, giving only one product. With one product, I'm also giving 3 bonuses. The first product which you will be paying me for is ISO excellence model. You have to achieve this excellence. That is the reason the name of the product is ISO excellence model. So with that model, you will be getting 3 more bonuses for which you are not paying me anything. And overall, when I had launched this product some time back, it was at a price which was also higher than what you will be paying today. It was 9999. It is almost 10,000 rupees, which the product was for 1+3 bonuses when it was launched. But now, considering the popularity of the product, where almost now 100 people have purchased the product, what I would see is, service to this community. So I am on a mission to help 100,000 businesses to achieve their ISO implementation through do-it-yourself method. And I would recommend, highly recommend, that you purchase this product. Thank you very much.